Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kenny. It's very early in the morning here, folks, and of course many of you work like I do, or at least I think you do. I hope you do, because it's extremely hot and everybody's trying to avoid the heat. And being very early, the only way you can get anything done that you have to do outside. So this is number 4 on the completion of my grill or griddle. Now I've got a big huge sheet of sheet metal that's actually about 3/16 of an inch thick. That's going to be my top. That's going to be where I put the food. And I'm going to cut that right now with this. But this stuff, you've heard the old phrase, tough as nails. This is some of the toughest steel I have ever cut with a grinder. So hang around for this and we're going to try to get it completed. We don't know for sure, but we're working on it very closely here. And this, like I said, is the top. And I have got to cut it off. So I'm going to get started right now. And let me clean my glasses. Many of you, how do you clean your glasses? I usually do it like this. Okay, that's redneck. That's very hicky. But who cares? It works. And you can't do this without glasses, and you can't do it if they're not clean. Okay, let's get to work. Take a look at that, folks. You're talking about being tough? That's exactly what I'm talking about. It eats that blade big time. So let me change this blade. Okay, blade changed. This is a different one, so we're going to see if it's any better. I believe we have got that pretty well done. So let's let him fall down. All done. Now this is the piece I'm going to use. If I can briefly, that's a little bit hot. Now I've got one edge on that cut. And now it's ready. So let me show you the other side. See? That's going to be my top surface. Now, I've got to mark this again. And I want it 34 inches. I know exactly what you're saying. You're saying, but your grill is round. That piece of metal is square. That's in the making. Okay, Let me get my you cut metal just like you do wood. Only it's just much harder. Now, there are some blades that's better than others, and there are some grinders that's better than others. And this one here is a little bit better. Let's do it. All right now, folks, I'm giving you a clear shot of my invention. Now I'm going to show you something here. This is my top. Yes, it's square. Notice this. This is 34 inches square. My grill top, the actual barrel, is 30 inches. But I've got to have a little stick over. So let me put this up. I want that side. Now, that looks kind of cool, don't it? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get that perfectly, if you will. Hardly anybody or anything that's perfect, and certainly not anybody. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave that like it is right now. Now I'm talking about it's square. If I choose to leave it like that, I'm not sure. I've got to do a little thinking. And one thing I've got to do. Now I've got to put right here or over here. I've not decided yet. I've got to put and make me cut. I've got to cut that and make my hole or my door, if you will, for the burners inside. And I'm not going to put that down permanently because I've got a little thought here that I want to share with you. Now, I know that this is going to work for a griddle, but did you know that my dad used to tell me when I was growing up, son, he used the old phrase, he said, there are more ways to skin a cat, if you will, and nothing cruel intended there, more ways to do that than one. So I'm going to have a multi-purpose griddle here. Now I can use this for a griddle. Now notice this beautiful thing down here at the bottom. I put that in there because I gotta have a place to put my stuff. So my other thing in mind here, if I could stop talking, I'm going to use it for a fire pit. I'm going to make me a door and put some hinges on it and cut a hole down here to take my ashes out. And when I'm not using it for a griddle, I'll use it for a fire pit. Yeah, it'll work, it'll work, it'll work. That thing, now I've not decided if I want to paint this or not, because when the heat hits it, the paint will just come off. So what I'm going to do is probably maybe polish it down real good and keep it kind of shiny. So I'm going to take this back off now. And that's one way to get rid of it. Now in here, let me show you what I'm talking about. I've got to put me some, let me get them off my four-wheeler over here. These is steel rebarb. I've got to cut these just the size that I needed length inside. And then I'm going to weld them inside so that my my burners will fit. So let's get to work. Now folks, let me show you what I'm doing here. I have got my rebarb cut. I've cut 3 pieces here. I've took my grinder and I've cut them at an angle. Let me show you what I mean. This, I'm going to put 3, might put 4, I'm not sure. There, there, and there. I'm going to put 3 of these in here to hold my burners in. So the next step is to weld those in. And I'm gonna make a huge amount of progress on these. I think I'll weld this one first. I've got to decide exactly. I cut them to fit tight. That way I won't have to use a tremendous amount of weld to keep them in. All right. These are going to fit just fine, and they're solid steel. Take a look at this. See the edge of that stuff? That is hard steel, and it will definitely serve the purpose. All right, that is a good job. I'm nearly putting these rails in. They've got to be completely level. So you get the point. All right now folks, you're getting a good look at what these burners are going to be doing. As you can see, I am using a propane stove that I kind of repaired in another previous video. I have got all of my metal parts, which are steel rods. I have got them welded on the inner part so that this burner will be stationary, and it is. Now all I've got to do is right here where these, I'm pointing my finger, where these little knobs are that control your heat level, I'm going to cut right in here somewhere a nice opening so that I could conveniently get to those without having to take the top off. So, and all over here, I've got to make sure I got to take this lid off of this where I'm pointing my finger. That's got to come off. And we will be ready to put the top on. Now I'm going to make a hole over here. Let me go over here. I'm going to make a hole probably right here underneath this thing where I'm going to put my handles. I'm going to put my handles here. Make a big, large hole down here so that I can make a door to where that I can remove that. Now this, I can remove that burner up there. It's not going to be stationary. It's not going to be permanent. I'm not going to lock it down simply because I want to remove it when I want to use it as a fire pit. Now that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So my next step is I'm going to cut this out right here to where that I can have access to my knobs. All right now folks, it's getting kind of hot here. And I'm telling you, I cannot handle the heat, but I'm going to show you that a little work and a little effort, you can do anything when you set your mind to it. Let me show you the top of this real good. I've got to sand that down real good. I thought I was going to get this finished, but the heat is setting in, and I'm obviously going to have to finish this in another video. But I've got to sand that down real good, the top, and make sure that it's clean before it's ever used. But we're going to finalize this video right now, and it looks real good. We've accomplished a lot. I mean, we have really accomplished a lot. But the heat is setting in, and we're going to call it done. But I'm going to be honest with you, folks. This is not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of time, but you got to be persistent and take your time if you want to do it right. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I've enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll finalize this in another video that you'll be able to see very soon. So if you like this, give us a thumbs up. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel, and you have a blessed day.